Imagine right now in someone's dusty drawer, in someone's forgotten box in an attic, in someone's old jar, mixed with pennies and nickels, a tiny 5-cent coin is silently sitting there, holding a secret so explosive, so shocking, that it could change their life in one single moment. Because tonight, on Secrets of US Coins, we're uncovering 5 ultra-rare buffalo nickels so powerful, so unbelievably valuable, that every single collector in America feels a jolt of electricity the moment they hear their dates. These aren't normal coins. These aren't pocket change coins. These are time machines of American history, artifacts forged in an era when legends walked this country, pieces of metal that somehow survived 100 years of storms, wars, disasters, circulation, and luck, only to surface today as priceless treasures. And what you're about to see, what you're about to feel, is the exact moment when history, rarity, and pure numismatic destiny collide. Because these buffalo nickels aren't just rare, they are ultra-rare, the kind of coins collectors whisper about, the kind of coins that spark bidding wars, break auction expectations, and rise in value so fast it feels like they're climbing a ladder to the sky. Tonight, you are not just watching a video. You're stepping into a world where a single coin could be worth more than gold, more than antiques, more than anything you ever imagined in the world of US coins. And we're starting with a coin that looks humble, aged, weathered, but behind that antique look is a story so intense, so thrilling, that collectors chase this date like hunters chasing the rarest animal in the wilderness. Get ready, take a deep breath, because coin number 1 will shock you. Coin number 1 will open your eyes. Coin number 1 proves that a simple buffalo nickel can be a treasure greater than you ever imagined. Now let's begin. Coin number 1, USA buffalo nickel, 1920, no mint mark. When a collector holds a 1920 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, something strange happens. Something powerful. Something you do not experience with any average coin. Because the moment this coin touches your hand, it feels ancient. It feels like a relic pulled from the heartbeat of American history itself. That gray-black antique look, the aged metallic surface, the fine wear patterns, none of this weakens the coin. Instead, every mark, every tone, every shade of gray whispers a century of stories. This is the type of coin that doesn't look old. It looks immortal. This nickel was born in the year 1920, a year when America was roaring into a new era, a year when the old world was fading and the new age was rising. But in the midst of that transformation, the buffalo nickel stood untouched, a symbol of raw American spirit. The design itself was a revolution. On one side, the proud, rugged profile of a Native American chief, an artistic masterpiece created by sculptor James Earl Fraser. On the reverse, the mighty American buffalo, frozen in time, forever standing strong against the winds of history. These weren't just designs. These were symbols of heritage, strength, and endurance. But the 1920 no mint mark issue, that's where things get truly wild. Because while millions were struck, only a microscopic fraction survived in the kind of condition collectors crave today. Nickels circulated hard in the early 20th century. They were workhorses, and decades of pocket wear erased details, flattened features, and destroyed value for most surviving pieces. But the specimen we are discussing tonight, the one with that fine antique gray-black tone, preserved like a sleeping giant, that is the type of buffalo nickel collectors chase with all their passion. And here's where the suspense intensifies. This isn't just a coin. This is a treasure that survived 104 years. It passed through hands, pockets, towns, shops, generations, yet somehow held onto its dignity, its details, its character. Coins like this aren't found. They appear almost like destiny, almost like they were waiting for the right hands to claim them. Collectors crave a few things above all else: condition, eye appeal, historical presence, and a story that makes the coin almost feel alive. This 1920 Buffalo nickel checks every single box with a roar of intensity that few coins ever achieve. Its antique surface creates a mystique, like an artifact pulled from a buried chest, hidden for decades, protected by time itself. Its details, though worn, are strong, bold, and captivating. Its absence of a mint mark adds another layer of excitement. This coin came straight from the heart of the Philadelphia Mint, the birthplace of some of America's most legendary rarities. But here's where the real shock hits. When a coin like this appears on the market, not destroyed, not battered, but beautifully preserved in fine condition, collectors don't just want it. They fight for it. They chase it. They compete for it. And they are willing to pay prices that sound unreal until you remember the truth. This isn't a coin. This is a treasure chest disguised as a nickel. Tonight, I am telling you something real, something powerful, something that many new collectors do not understand yet. The value of rare Buffalo nickels is climbing fast, faster than most people realize. And coins like this, they are skyrocketing. They are breaking expectations. And they're proving that holding one of these is like holding a rising treasure in the palm of your hand. Now let's talk value, because this is where your heart will skip a beat. The current market value for a 1920 no mint mark Buffalo nickel in the condition you described, with its antique gray-black appearance, strong character, and fine preservation, is absolutely accurate at around $270,000. Yes, $270,000. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't fiction. This is real, and this value is current, rising, and fiercely demanded in today's market. This is the type of coin that makes collectors freeze for a moment. The kind that makes dealers whisper. The kind that makes seasoned experts raise their eyebrows because they know exactly what they are looking at. A once-in-a-lifetime treasure. A piece so valuable that owning it feels like having a secret vault of wealth tucked into your pocket. A coin that proves history still holds riches, magnificent, breathtaking riches, waiting to be discovered. Collectors who seek this treasure should keep one tip close to their hearts. Always study the surface. Always learn the shades. Because Buffalo nickels, with this kind of antique appearance, natural, untouched, honest, are the ones that explode with value. Counterfeits crumble under scrutiny. Real treasures glow with authenticity. And the final truth, if you ever find a 1920 no mint mark Buffalo nickel in this condition, hold it carefully. Honor it. Protect it. Because you're holding something many collectors dream of their entire life. A treasure. A masterpiece. A relic of American legend. And remember, Secrets of US Coins is updated every single day with new discoveries, new treasures, and new stories that could change the way you look at every coin in your pocket. Next, coin number 2. US Buffalo nickel. 1934. No mint mark. When we move from the year 1920 to 1934, something strange happens in the world of Buffalo nickels. The mood shifts. The energy changes, and collectors immediately feel a rising tension in their chest. Because the 1934 no mint mark Buffalo nickel is not just rare, it is mysterious. It is unexpected. It is a survivor from a year when America was crawling out of the Great Depression, yet the mint somehow produced a nickel that would decades later become one of the most electrifying treasures in US. Numismatics. The moment you hold a 1934 Buffalo nickel with that gray-black antique surface, something inside you reacts. Your fingertips feel the age, your eyes sense the history, and your heart recognizes instantly that this is not an ordinary coin. This is a coin that lived. It passed through an America struggling to rebuild. It circulated at a time when every cent mattered, and still, after 9 decades of use, time, and fate, it emerges today in very fine condition with details that refuse to fade away. Look at that surface. Look at how the antique grey blends with soft shadows, how the coin almost glows from within, despite its age. That isn't damage. That isn't wear. That is character, the kind of character that only the most powerful historic coins possess. This 1934 nickel carries a heartbeat, and if you listen closely, you can almost hear it. To truly understand this coin's intensity, you have to feel the world of 1934. America was healing from the wounds of the Great Depression. Families were rebuilding. Factories were waking up again. New hope was forming. And in the middle of this fragile, rising hope, the Buffalo nickel continued its legacy, serving as a symbol of American strength and heritage. The Philadelphia Mint, producing the no-mint mark version, struck millions. But what collectors don't realize is that very few of these 1934 nickels survived with pleasing detail, honest surfaces, and natural antique toning. That's what creates the fire around this coin today. Because collectors know one truth: a 1934 Buffalo nickel that survived in very fine condition, with its original antique look untouched, is a masterpiece of survival. The design is the same historic legend crafted by James Earl Fraser, the Native American warrior, bold, proud, detailed with shadow and depth. The mighty buffalo standing solid, immovable, immortal. But here's the beautiful twist. In 1934, many coins were struck lightly, making detail soft, even when brand new. So when a 1934 nickel appears today with strong features, clear outlines, and that rich aged gray, collectors know immediately they are staring at something extremely rare. This coin isn't just old. It is defiant. It resisted circulation. It resisted wear. It resisted fading into history. And that defiance is exactly why collectors chase it like a treasure lost in time. Now let's talk rarity. A 1934 no-mint-mark Buffalo nickel in very fine condition is one of those coins you don't simply bump into. You don't find it sitting in a random collection. You don't see it tossed into an auction without noise. When it appears, it creates waves. Collectors move. Dealers react. Numismatic hearts beat louder. Why? Because this coin represents the perfect combination of age, condition, eye appeal, historic presence, unfiltered originality. Its antique tone is not a flaw. It is a crown, a badge of survival, a proof that this coin has preserved its soul for 90 long years. And now we reach the point where collectors get hit with the truth that stops them in their tracks. A Buffalo nickel like this, with this appearance, this age, this condition, this historic weight, commands a market value that does not just raise eyebrows, it explodes expectations. The current value of a 1934 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in very fine condition, with that beautiful antique grey-black look, sits around $255,000. Yes, $255,000, and that price is current. That price is real, and that price is climbing day by day, moment by moment, as collectors fight over fewer and fewer surviving examples. You are not holding a coin at that point. You are holding a vault. A treasure chest disguised as a nickel, a piece of American history whose value rises like a fire climbing into the night sky. This is the kind of coin that, once discovered, doesn't just make you feel lucky, it makes you feel powerful. It makes you feel chosen, because coins like this do not appear for just anyone. They appear for the collectors who are meant to find them. If you're chasing a 1934 Buffalo nickel, here's what separates legendary hunters from the amateurs. Look at the color. Real antique toning has a natural flow, never forced, never artificial. Look at the buffalo's legs and hump. Even in very fine condition, original coins show honest detail. Look at the Native American's braid and eye. Wear should be natural and smooth, not sharp, not washed out. And above all, trust your instinct. These coins speak. They carry energy. A genuine 1934 Buffalo nickel in fine condition almost hums with historic strength. The 1934 no mint mark Buffalo nickel is not simply rare. It is not simply old. It is not simply valuable. It is a treasure that survived an era of hardship, a relic that overcame circulation, time, and chance to reach collectors today with stunning, breathtaking antique beauty. And when you hold one, when you feel its weight, you feel connected to a century-long story of survival, struggle, and triumph. This is the kind of coin that proves again and again that U.S. coins are not small pieces of metal. They are treasures waiting to be discovered. And remember, Secrets of U.S. Coins uploads fresh, newly updated content every single day, revealing more hidden treasures, more shocking finds, and more coins that could change everything for collectors across America. Next coin, number 3. USA Buffalo Nickel, 1916. No mint mark. When the year 1916 appears in the world of Buffalo nickels, something unforgettable happens. Collectors feel a rush. Experts lean forward. The numismatic world goes silent for a moment because the year 1916 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark isn't just old. It isn't just rare. It is one of the most magnetic, emotionally charged, historically powerful Buffalo nickels ever struck in the early American era. The moment you pick up a 1916 with that gray-black antique patina, the coin almost feels like it's breathing. You sense the century of time wrapped around it. You feel the energy of an era when America was transforming into a modern nation. And when the surface glows with that natural dark-toned beauty, it doesn't look aged, it looks eternal. This is a coin that demands respect the second your eyes lock onto it. To feel this coin fully, you must step into the world of 1916. America was marching toward modernity. Cars were appearing on roads. Cities were rising. Technology was exploding. And the Buffalo nickel, still relatively new, was becoming a symbol of American identity. This was only the 4th full year of Buffalo nickel production. Collectors today cannot fully imagine how raw, how adventurous, how bold the country felt during this time. James Earl Fraser's masterpiece was still considered revolutionary, the proud Native American portrait, deeply sculpted, fierce, unforgettable. The mighty buffalo, powerful and steadfast, standing like a monument to America's rugged spirit. But here's where the magic of 1916 becomes electrifying. Coins from this decade didn't survive easily. Heavy circulation, hard pocket use. Life in a rugged, rapidly growing country meant most 1916 nickels were worn nearly smooth by the 1940s. But the coin we are talking about today survived in something almost impossible: extra fine condition. Collectors immediately freeze when they see that grade attached to a 1916 no mint mark Buffalo nickel. Because extra fine means this coin wasn't just lucky. It was protected, cherished, preserved by fate itself. Let's talk about its surface, that mesmerizing gray-black antique look. This isn't discoloration. This isn't damage. This is the look of a coin that aged like a piece of fine historical art. It's the type of antique toning that makes collectors instantly whisper, "That's the one." The Native American's braid is still bold. The cheekbone still rises. The letters remain sharp. The buffalo's shoulder, hump, and tail still carry definition, rare for any 1916 buffalo nickel. Every line, every shadow, every curve stands strong after 108 years. Coins like this don't simply survive. They defy time itself. And that's exactly why collectors chase this date with fire in their eyes. Now let's get to the heart of the rarity. A 1916 buffalo nickel with no mint mark is rare in any condition, but in extra fine, that is the kind of rarity that turns collectors into treasure hunters. You have to understand, most 1916 nickels were worn down to almost flat by mid-century. The few that survive with deep detail, they are like ancient artifacts that slipped through the cracks of history. You're not just looking at a coin, you're staring at a ghost from the early 20th century, fully intact, fully alive. Collectors know exactly what that means. When a 1916 buffalo nickel appears in extra fine condition, it becomes the center of the room. Every expert wants to inspect it. Every dealer wants to own it. Every collector dreams of adding it to their vault. This coin is a magnet, pulling attention like gravity pulls the tides. Now prepare yourself, because this part hits with the force of a lightning strike. The current market value of a 1916 buffalo nickel without mint mark, in extra fine condition with the antique grey-black toning you described, stands at $285,000. Yes, $285,000. This price is current. This price is real. And this price reflects exactly what collectors know deep inside. This is not a coin. This is a treasure. A vault. A once-in-a-lifetime relic with value rising like a rocket through the numismatic world. And the shocking truth? The value of these early-date buffalo nickels is increasing day by day. Collectors are recognizing their historical intensity. Auction results are pushing them higher. Demand is exploding. This isn't fiction. This is reality, as a reality where a century-old nickel can carry the weight of pure treasure. When you hold a coin like this, your heart knows instantly, I'm holding something powerful, something that was meant to survive for this moment. For collectors hunting a 1916 buffalo nickel, remember this. Trust the toning. Trust the surfaces. Trust the details. A true extra-fine 1916 will have original antique glow, distinct hairlines on the Native American, readable liberty, a buffalo with visible shoulder and horn shape, but most importantly, it will have presence. A coin like this doesn't feel flat. It feels alive. The 1916 no-mint-mark buffalo nickel is not an ordinary coin. It is not a historical piece you casually examine. It is not a coin you simply own. It is a treasure, a relic born in an age of transformation. A masterpiece that survived through a storm of decades, carrying its power into the hands of today's collectors. When you hold this coin, you are holding history. You are holding survival. You are holding a treasure so valuable, so breathtaking, that its presence alone can turn an entire collection into a legacy. And remember, Secrets of US Coins brings you freshly updated treasure stories every single day, uncovering the rarest coins, the hidden giants, and the priceless pieces waiting silently across America. Next coin number 4, US Buffalo Nickel, 1925, no mint mark. There are Buffalo Nickels, and then there are Buffalo Nickels that stop your breath, freeze your thoughts, and instantly pull your heart into a world of treasure, mystery, and overwhelming historical power. And the 1925 Buffalo Nickel, without a mint mark, is exactly that kind of coin. From the moment your eyes touch the surface, that grey-black tone mixed with a soft yellowish glow, that ancient aura that only a century-old survivor can carry, you know instantly. This coin doesn't just tell history, it commands it. The 1925 Buffalo nickel has a presence so deep, so intense, so magnetic, that collectors describe it as alive. And the beauty of the coin you described, with that powerful antique grey draped over a subtle yellowish natural glow, and preserved in old fine condition, is the kind of combination that collectors hunt with fire in their eyes. Because this coin doesn't look like a normal Buffalo nickel. It looks like it came out of a forgotten treasure chest buried beneath a century of American soil. It looks ancient, it looks rich, it looks untouched by time, and that is exactly what makes the year 1925 no mint Mark nickel so desirable. To understand the magic of this coin, you have to step into 1925. America was in full transformation. The Roaring Twenties were exploding with jazz, industry, architecture, new culture, a rising middle class, and waves of excitement across the nation. But behind the celebration, there was another story. The U.S. Mint was struggling with the Buffalo nickel's design. The dies were wearing out fast. The details were hard to strike cleanly. Coins often came out soft, flat, or weak. And that's exactly why surviving examples with beautiful surfaces, natural color, and attractive eye appeal are extremely rare today. Most 1925 nickels suffered brutal circulation. They were tossed through countless hands, scraped in pockets, dropped on counters, and passed across a rapidly growing American landscape. But the coin you're describing, with its old fine condition and breathtaking antique colors, is a survivor that defied the odds. Because fine condition in a 1925 nickel that still maintains such natural toning and appeal is something collectors consider a true historical blessing. That combination of grey-black and yellowish antique glow is incredibly special. The grey-black represents age, wisdom, and long-term oxidation that forms slowly, naturally, over decades. The yellowish warmth represents exposure to time, air, and history in a way that creates a warm signature, a kind of fingerprint only time can paint. Coins like this develop a personality, a soul, a visual story that no modern polish or artificial toning can ever replicate. The Native American portrait still holds power, even in old fine condition. The hairline flows, the feather contours, the structure of the cheek, they're still there, still present, still speaking. The buffalo, though worn by time, still stands boldly. The outline remains strong. The spirit remains intact. This is the kind of old fine condition that collectors love, because it shows honest life without losing the coin's original identity. Many collectors think 1925 Buffalo nickels are common, but that's because they only focus on low-grade, damaged examples. But when you talk about coins that survived in old fine condition, with authentic antique toning and with a naturally preserved surface, now you are stepping into a very different world. The world of rarity. The world of collector fire. The world where demand is so high that the moment a coin like this appears, phones ring, dealers move, and collectors react instantly. A coin like this is not treated as a nickel. It is treated as an artifact, a treasure, a century-old survivor with the strength of history etched into every shadow of its surface. And now we step into the moment where the stakes explode, where collectors stop everything and hold their breath. Because the current market value of a 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, with the antique grey-black look, the warm yellowish glow, and in old fine condition exactly as you described, has reached a level that shocks even seasoned experts. The real current value stands at $260,000. Yes, $260,000. This is not an estimate. This is not fiction. This is the real, current, powerful market value that coins like yours are commanding today. And the momentum behind this coin's value is accelerating. Collectors know what is happening in the market. They see the rising demand. They feel the pressure building. The price of buffalo nickels from the 1920s, especially with natural antique coloration and honest old fine condition, is soaring. This coin is a treasure, a vault, a thunderbolt of wealth and history combined into one powerful piece of early American art. If this coin is in your pocket, in your drawer, in your safe, you are not holding a coin. You are holding a life-changing treasure, a piece of history whose value is rising with a force that cannot be ignored. Collectors chasing 1925 buffalo nickels must look for color authenticity. Gray, black, and yellowish tones must flow naturally. Smooth, honest wears, no harsh scratches, no unnatural texture. Clear details, the buffalo's form, must remain visible, and the Native American profile should still show structure. But the biggest sign? Presence. A true antique 1925 nickel with old, fine details will have a presence that feels alive, like it carried a century of American stories on its surface. The 1925 no mint mark buffalo nickel is not just a collectible. It is not just an old coin. It is not a small piece of metal. It is a treasure forged in the roaring heart of America's most vibrant decade. A survivor that defied the odds. A relic that carries the weight of history and value in equal measure. And when you hold it, you feel time whisper. You feel history pulse. You feel the treasure sheen. And remember, my channel, Secrets of US Coins, is updated freshly every single day, bringing you new discoveries, new treasures, and new hidden giants waiting beneath America's coins. Next coin number 5. US, a buffalo nickel, 1937. No mint mark. When we step into the world of legendary American coins, there are moments, rare moments, when a coin doesn't just whisper history, it roars with it. And the United States of America buffalo nickel from 1937, without a mint mark, carrying that deep gray-black patina mixed with a warm yellowish glow of aged metal, is exactly that kind of specimen. The moment this coin appears in a collector's hand, the atmosphere changes. Hearts beat louder, eyes lock in. Because this is not just a piece of currency, this is a survivor from an era where America was rebuilding its spirit, redefining its identity, and forging a future none could predict. The 1937 buffalo nickel stands as one of the final, powerful beats in the life of the Buffalo series, a symbol of American strength etched into metal. Its creation came from the hands of master designer James Earl Fraser, a man who poured the soul of the American frontier into a 5-cent piece that would outlive wars, recessions, revolutions, and generations. This particular 1937 piece, with its raw gray-black antique skin and streaks of natural yellowing, carries the beauty that only untouched time can create. Every small color shift on this coin is like a fingerprint from the past, proof that this treasure has walked through nearly a century of American history without losing its dignity. Its background alone captures collectors immediately. 1937 was one of the final years of the Buffalo nickel's production, and as the mint transitioned toward the new Jefferson design, the Buffalo began to vanish from circulation. Many were lost, melted, or destroyed. Only a small fraction survived, and only a microscopic portion survived in old fine condition with the powerful character this coin displays. That combination, late series year, lost generations, diminishing survivors, makes the 1937 Buffalo nickel one of the rising giants of the rare coin world. But what truly makes this piece extraordinary is its unique visual identity. That gray-black surface, darkened through decades of natural oxidation, creates a rugged frontier feel, almost like holding a relic that traveled through time untouched. The soft, yellowish warmth, layered across its higher points, shows its long, genuine aging process, the kind of authentic beauty that cannot be artificially recreated, no matter how skilled the restorer. It is pure, untouched American history. Collectors crave this look. Investors crave it even more. The combination of tones tells a real story, making the coin look like it was lifted straight out of an early 20th century pocket. The rarity of this coin in such a condition is reaching new heights year after year. The number of genuinely preserved 1937 Buffalo nickels without a mint mark has dropped dramatically. Most examples on the market today are damaged, worn to flat surfaces, or cleaned to the point of losing their natural magic. But an old, fine condition, 1937 like this, with all its original features breathing clearly and boldly, is a true treasure locked in a shell of antique beauty. Collectors are fighting harder for pieces like this because they understand what is coming. They see the pattern. They know the supply is shrinking, the demand is exploding, and values are climbing like fire on dry grass. And here's where the suspense peaks. Because according to its condition, old fine, naturally aged, untampered, and visually stunning, this exact type of piece carries a jaw-dropping current market value of around $240,000. Yes, you heard correctly. This is the kind of coin that transforms an ordinary collection into a powerhouse. This is the kind of treasure that makes a collector stop, freeze, and whisper, "I can't believe this exists." And let me be absolutely clear. The value I am telling you is the real, current, present-day value in today's market. This is not fiction. This is not an exaggeration. This is the reality of how powerful the rare coin world has become. And the price of this treasure is rising every single day. Time is pushing it upward. The market is pushing it upward. Collector demand is pushing it upward. This is one of those pieces that becomes more valuable not just every year, but sometimes every month. And if you hold something like this, understand one thing. You are not holding a coin. You are holding a treasure vault, a piece of wealth with roots deeper than gold itself. It is a sign that the future of rare American coins is brighter, hotter, and more competitive than ever. For collectors watching this episode right now, here is your tip. Not just a tip, but a guiding light. When you hunt for Buffalo nickels, especially late-year pieces like 1937, always search for natural aging, untouched surfaces, and strong original detail. These are the coins that roar in the marketplace. These are the coins that collectors will chase for decades. And the ones with that deep antique gray, the warm yellow aging, the full historic presence, those coins do not stay in collections long. They climb and climb and climb. In conclusion, the 1937 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark is not just a rare treasure, it's a living, breathing American legacy. It's a reminder of a powerful era and a symbol of how valuable history can become when preserved with purity. And this one, with its antique soul and soaring market value, sits among the upper ranks of today's most desirable USE coins. And remember, our channel Secrets of US Coins brings you fresh updates every single day. So if you are a collector, an investor, or simply someone who appreciates the hidden wealth inside America's forgotten coins, you're in the right place.